No. Oh, I'm live. Forgot I'm doing it live. What's good, my YouTube audience? I meant to say, right? I'm over here freaking. This damn dog is just annoying the shit out of me. Hold on, let me set this up real quick. All right, what's good with everybody? It is Thursday. So we already right here. Actually, I was gonna do a video, right? But we just go live with it, right? It was actually gonna be a video about philosopher, right, and fake prognosticators. Um, I was asked by one of my subscribers to make a video about prognosticators, right? For those who don't know what a prognosticator is, right, it's somebody who's good at making an educated guess, um, right? Like they're really good at reading patterns and behaviors, right? And with that, they make an educated guess of what they think is going to happen, you know, to that person in the future, right? So they're really good at with their foresight, you know. And some people use this foresight to con individuals, right? To make people think that they have connections where they actually really don't, right? Saying that they knew that this was going to happen due to information that they got from people in high places, right? When in reality, they don't talk to nobody. They just use their foresight to make an educated guess. And that's actually how a lot of people, you know, who are in the industry, you know, get, you know, to be on top, right? Because people believe they're crap. Sad but true, right? And they just take the L's with the W's, right? Like, you know, sure, they're going to get some stuff wrong, right? But the stuff that they get right, people tend to believe them now with this foresight that they had. But it doesn't make it true, right? So, you know. See the difference with like philosophers and, you know, these fake prognosticators, right? Like the ones that could read your fortune or your cards or your future, right? Is that they don't try to lie and tell you that what they're saying is, you know, facts, right? But more about what they think going based off of how people are behaving now, what might happen in the future, right? They're educated guess on that compared to these people that are actually telling you that this is what it's going to be, right? Due to connections that they have, whether it be supernatural or, you know, lies. Your armpits are cute. Imagine, you know, hearing those kind of compliments. What's cracking, Sal? What's cracking, Leroy? Like, damn, you got some nice ass knees. Out of all the elbows I have seen, your elbows are clearly the best. How come people don't compliment those parts? That's true. You gotta start complimenting that. Like, damn, look at the earlobes on her. we had a burrito because we had a, you know, a pretty big, you know, lunch before we came to work, right? So we just had one of those small, you know, ham, egg, and bean burritos. Los brocheros. Oh, gracias. I appreciate that. But it's true though, you know, what you said is true though. Like, how come people don't compliment that kind of stuff, huh? Back in the days, they probably did, right? Like, because you know how back in the days, like, women, you know, wore those long dresses and had everything covered up, right? So, like, when, like, a girl wanted to get a guy's attention, she would show them her knees, and just with their knees is, like, indecent exposure, right? Fools would just, like, you know, just come right there on the spot just by looking at her knees. Oh, gracias. Oh, stop with the flattering, bro. You're doing too much. You talked to Ronnie in LA. Yeah, you know, that's a homie that, you know, I supported, you know, from day one. You know, I chop it up with homie. You know, he does really good stuff, you know. And he's a cool individual. Like, you know, he's a cool individual to talk to. You know, he's down to earth. You know what I'm saying? He's not someone who thinks, like this and that. He's and that grind that he has. So I definitely, follow his content and support him. I actually have shared his content a few times on my channel. I swallowed that. Interesting. Whatever people's beverage of choice. No, yeah, but he has good stuff. So I definitely recommend, for those who are not aware, to go peep out Rodney LA's channel. He's an individual who, takes you on a tour around, LA's ghettos, right? Because a lot of people do wonder, especially those who live outside of California, right? Of how exactly the streets of Los Angeles look like, right? And how it actually is compared to what cinema puts out there, right? Or the stereotypical, shit that is said. He always says in every video, this neighborhood is no, because it's true though. Those neighborhoods are dangerous because potentially, anything could happen to you in those streets, right? So it's like, you always gotta be, not to say like scared or worried or whatever, but you always have to be alert. You know what I mean? That way you don't end up becoming a victim of the environment. You know what I mean? Just like be alert of your surroundings, be aware of your surroundings. Because I know that there's sometimes that people, overlook stuff or don't really pay attention, right? And then that's how they end up getting victimized. Because obviously somebody who's looking to do something to you, you're going to notice that person once he starts getting close to you. You know what I mean? That you should already be, you should never let a person get that close to you where, you have to break yourself. You know what I mean? What's cracking like it, Mr. Pasa? What you getting yourself into? Ishi? Dice la buena vida. There's people from outside of California who think that the Crips, Bloods, Sureños, are all the same thing. And they don't understand Cali. Yeah, facts, bro. Like all those documentaries that have ever came out of those National Geographic or whatever, when they're like, and the largest gangs is the Sureños. And it's like, what does that mean, Sureños? Like, but they're implying it to the streets, right? I could understand from the sense when they're talking about like prison, like if they're doing a documentary on the prison thing, right? And they say the largest gang, the Sureño, then it makes sense, right? But when they're talking about the streets and then they say the Sureño term, I'm just like, what? And what the hell are they talking about? Out here in the streets, each gang is its own individual, set with no alliances or connections to each other. So branding them all as one is retarded. It doesn't work like that, right? So therefore, it just doesn't make any sense. Same with the Cribs. The Cribs, when there's multiple, which set are you talking about? The Rollings, the Neighborhoods, the H-Rays. Like which one? They don't all get along with each other and all roll as one unit. You know what I mean? They're all individual gangs, bro. So shit like that just doesn't make any sense. He's scared of the dogs. Hey, no, there's some fucking dogs out here, bro, that will, woo, bro, they'll eat you up, homie. Shit. No mames. Real talk. And that's one thing you do see. You do see a lot of fucking dogs just running amok up in. And once those motherfuckers bite, woo, bro, shit's gonna be getting rough. Got in there to help. Goofy looking dogs. What up, Shadow? What's cracking, like Nick? Why is it that cops still give criminals a hard time trying to make an honest living by still scandal? No way. My love bug is definitely in the building. Love you, baby. No, my phone's not sideways. But why? Why do you say that? Does it look sideways? The reason why cops just give individuals a hard time, even though that they're, trying to make a decent living or, just minding their own, is because they don't believe them, right? Because of all the individuals who have lied and, have said that they're not doing something that they're actually really doing, right? The fact that, and not only that, but criminals are labeled as they're gonna lie to you and try to, you know what I mean? So the fact of all of this information already, clouds the police officer's judgment on an individual, right? They're most likely gonna think that he's up to something when he's just doing his thing, right? And obviously, when you're being harassed, when you truly are not doing nothing, it's gonna get you mad. You know what I mean? And then now this individual doesn't believe you. He thinks you're lying to him. And now this individual's heated. It's gonna make the interaction's not gonna be a good one. You get what I'm saying? Because truly, they prejudge también. You know what I mean? Really? I don't know. In India, you see a lot of stray dogs, and they can give you a lot of rabies if they bite. Oh, damn. Now I seen like the videos I seen of India. I see the like tigers, bro. Like, you get rolled up by a tiger. Like, no mames. I'll take a dog any day over a tiger. Nah, seriously, I seen a lot of videos like in India, like where you got tigers roaming through these villages, and I'm just like, fuck that, bro. Because when people think of tigers and lions, like they picture them maybe. I don't think people truly understand the size of a tiger or a lion in person, right? Like they see them probably on TV and they look just like they look big but not that big, right? And in reality, you see them in real life, they're the size of a fucking SUV, bro, practically. The size of your fucking car, and it's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Because they truly are that big, like literally the size of a fucking vehicle. That shit is mind blowing. You know what I mean? So people be tripping. That's why I walk with a pit bull and a 44 Magnum. 44 Magnum's a nice weapon. I wouldn't know. I have never owned a firearm, and I know nothing about that, right? But what I have seen, it's really good firearm, right? In my personal opinion. And obviously, I love pit bulls. They become, let's see, the worst. That's because, see, the worst in people. Yeah, that's true. Also, what Wally said right here. They, that's one thing that that's one of the things that I say of what police officers need, right? Like people always say, or they provide them with more weaponry, right, to fight crime, right? But I truly don't believe that that's what police officers need. I think police officers need more psychological courses, right? More understanding of people's emotion and body language and stuff like that. More mental training than physical, even though their job does, call for physical, right? But a lot of their job is mental, bro. Being able to read the scenario, read individuals, and to try to, de-escalate the situations, right? But a majority of them don't know how to do none of that, right? And they go in there with their own views already, right? And those views get tested on a day-to-day, whether their sexuality, their religion, their sanity, their, all of that, right? They get insulted, get called every name in the book. They see the most horrendous of humans, right? Children being, hurt and abused, dead bodies, shit that humans in general are not supposed to, witness on a day-to-day, bro, because it does take a toll on you, right? It makes you wonder, like, why is there any hope for humanity? You know what I mean? Like you feel like that people are beyond, being saved, right, because of everything they experience. And now let's say they have kids, right, or whatever scene that they roll up into, they can relate to it, right? And now these individuals are being hurt now, or some shit like that, or hostage are being taken, right? Now it's going to be hard for them to control their emotions, right? So instead of de-escalating the situation, they actually make it worse, right? Because they can't control their emotions, right? They get angry, and you already know, once you get angry, you pretty much lost. You know what I mean? Because that's actually what they want you to do. And if you can't keep your composure, because remember, even though people are like, oh, police officers had the right and everything, remember, this is their profession. This is their job. So they have to, obtain it by following the law, right? They're not allowed to break the law now just because, they're put in these situations. This is their job. They're supposed to stay professional, right? That's why they train and then everything. So they're supposed to, it's like they're equipped with, tasers and nightsticks and pepper sprays and all this and that. But as soon as anything happens, they reach straight for their firearm, bro. And it's like, well, what the fuck is the purpose of having all those other shits? And sometimes it's like, let's say a teenager or a knife. A guy has a knife, right? You can taser the person, right? Or shit, individuals, even like in schools, these old ass teachers wrestle knives away from these kids, and you're telling me these officers who are fucking, on their prime and strong can't fucking, de-arm the teenager? That they have to use lethal force or at least shoot him in the leg or the arm. But no, they go straight for the kill shot. And it's like, well, what the fuck is the purpose of everything else then? You know what I mean? I can understand if he has like a submachine gun and shit like that, right? But then it makes you wonder why they're able to keep their composure when a white guy is out there killing people with a submachine gun. He's being warned to drop the weapon multiple times. When it's a Hispanic and black, they shoot them right away. Like the incidents that happened when the George Floyd riots were happening, right? You had that one Caucasian kid who was going around and he killed like 4 people, right? And they still took him, hey, put the weapon down when this fool has already been shooting people out there. They gave that for multiple warnings. But then you see other videos of just like Raza or black, same situation, right? But they're getting shot as soon as they get there. Right? Because like I said, the way they view things already, right? How they grew up seeing things, that all plays, they let that, control their judgments out there, right? So they don't make the best decisions because they get angry, right? They're stuck in their emotions. That's why whenever a detective is like emotionally attached to a case, he gets removed and they put another one, right? Because, when you're emotionally attached, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, right? Because of that, you're not supposed to let your emotions get the best of you when you're trying to solve something. So I think they need more psychological training, right? Like to be able to read a situation better, right? That way they could de-escalate it. Because they don't get none of that kind of training. It's more like physical. You know what I mean? But when they're walking into a thing, let's say the person just he's going through some shit or divorce or but he's got some mental shit going down, right? That they just end up smoking them, because they think that they don't know how to read what's happening, bro. Makes you wonder. It's kind of like human life is that disposable, right? Like it means nothing, to individuals. Like it's so easy, just to kill them, and it's like, fuck it, it's a part of the job. You know what I mean? When killing another individual shouldn't come that easy like that, right? It should be something difficult to do because of the humanity in you, right? But if it's just like that, then they are no longer separated from the criminals that they're booking now. No one has a license to kill right here, right? But people do tend to give them out, like in the military or the police officers, right? That's how you get these, police officers or military people that are trigger happy, right? And they go off the off the rails. That's why whenever they experience some shit like that, they try to provide them now, therapy, to help them speak about what they've seen, because you need to let all that shit out, bro. Because I know people say like, nah, it doesn't bother them, that it's cool, they got this. They don't got this under control. They really don't, bro. That's just people that say that just to try to stay, strong, right? But in reality, bro, it takes a psychological toll on an individual. You know what I mean? Because we're just not designed that way. I do get it. There is people that are designed that way. Those who are born like psychopaths and shit like that, right? Who don't feel no emotions, who have no empathy and shit like that, right? So all that shit is not going to get to them, obviously, because they don't even know what none of that feels like, right? But, very few people are born like that, right? More people, we're emotional, bro. We're emotional creatures, right? So we have empathy. So all that shit does take a toll on an individual, no matter how tough he's trying to be. You know what I mean? Because it's all a facade. I mean, they can go and argue with the science and say that it's not true, that this is this way, but it's like, who are you trying to fool, bro? And that's just the cold truth. So I feel like they need more psychological, training than actual, just running a course and, shooting range and shit like that. Do you see the bullshit that cops do? I experienced what cops, the scandalous side of cops, bro. I experienced it, bro, plenty of times. They have done some scandalous shit that was breaking the law. You know what I mean? But who the fuck was gonna believe us? You get what I mean? We're just some gang members that are liars and that are always trying to say this and that. You know what I mean? They know that they could get away with shit. They take advantage of that. And it's not even so hard to believe, right? Or so impossible to believe, because they are just humans, bro. So just like you have humans out there who make mistakes and who let their prides get the best of them, and sometimes people do do things they're not supposed to do and shit like that. These people are no different. They are human. So they are gonna let that shit get the best of them as well, right? They're gonna get mad, emotional, right? And then yeah, sure, they might take a few jabs and do a few shit that they're not supposed to, just because they're furious. And them knowing that they'll believe them and not believe them, right? That's why now they have to wear cameras, because of how many times evidence has shown that these police officers have abused the power, right? People are not demanding them wear cameras and all that shit now because they're fucking saints, but it's for a reason, because a lot of them were doing shit they weren't supposed to be doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying criminals' actions or they shouldn't have been arrested. But what I'm saying is that just because these guys are bad guys and you're looking at it, doesn't give you the right to break the law now. You have to be. See, the thing is that you're supposed to lead by example. You're supposed to show these criminals that you're able to do stuff by the book, by following the law. You get me? So now by you breaking the law now to get your way, or to handle whatever you're doing right there with the criminal, by you breaking the law, then you're only showing him that yes, you can't get shit done by following the book, that you have to break the law in order to actually fix shit. You know what I mean? Lead by example. Because what example are you showing them there? Except that what they have always thought was true, these crooked motherfuckers, and this that's all you're proving. And that you can't actually get something or win by following the rules. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's these young kids that you're doing it to. You got to think about the messages. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the law is supposed to be designed, for people to be able to, combat against crime, right? And to show people that it works. But by breaking the law, you're showing them that what is set in place is not working. It doesn't get the job done. Right? Just like if they were to follow a 9 to 5, whatever, it's not going to get the job done. You got to lead by example, bro. And like I said, bro, we were just like 13, 14, 15 years old. And these were grown-ass men, grown-ass police officers, bro, that were doing the scandalous shit to us, bro. With all the beating us and dropping us off in enemy's territory and, falsifying reports and everything like that. So, can you blame these adults for growing up and seeing these cops a certain way when the shit that they were saying wasn't true? And the shit that they were experiencing wasn't true? Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, they were doing, this and that, right? But them as being the grown-up adults and these guys being the children, right? The child, right? Who think that they know everything but don't really know shit. You're supposed to lead by example, but now by you treating them this way, what did you expect to happen? You get what I'm saying? But that's the thing, though. Nobody wants to be the bigger person, even though that's the advice that everybody gives. You got to be the bigger person. You guys are the ones, the ones that are upholding the peace and the ones that follow the law and live right? So, You know, be the bigger person. Don't let your temper get the best of you, because now by you behaving this way, you are not behaving like them. You are no better than them. But you expect them to be the bigger people on shit now, when you can't even be the bigger person on shit. You get what I mean? And these people were raised to know no better. That's the reason why they behave that way. And you are not providing any more better lessons than what they have experienced their whole entire lives. You're only making them see the world like what they really think it is, or how it is. That everybody's scandalous, that nobody gives a fuck about you, you know? You know, then that's just facts. You know, I was seeing some reports that I was talking to with my wife earlier today. Um, we were talking about, you know, like child abuse cases, right, in California. You know, in 2020, child abuse cases that were reported just in California alone was around 61,000. And just in California, right? And out of those, you know, 61,000, I think it was like 35,000 ended up in the foster care system, right? And 0.7 of those kids graduate high school. So, which is almost like not even 1% of them, you know, are going to graduate high school. That was just in 2020, right? The report and the numbers, right? So that's fucking insane to even think about, right? You know, and this is all facts, like I said. So that in itself is already crazy, right? And now the thing is that when it came to the child abuse cases, right, a majority of them were female, you know, cases for sexual abuse and, you know, neglection and all that, right? And it gave you, you know, a graph, right, of, you know, the ethnicities, you know, which ethnicity is the higher, you know, percentage, and vice versa, right? And to my surprise, you know, some of the higher ones were Asians and you know, Indians, right? From India, right? Hindus. They were up there, right? And I was just like, what a trip. And my wife, she was like, it's a trip that when you watch the news, you only see child abuse cases about Mexicans, right? When we were like, I think there's only like 10% or less than 10%. I think it was like 9 point something percent were Mexicans, right? But when you watch the news, all you see is the Mexican ones, right? And you never hear about the Asian ones or the Hindu ones. And she's like, I wonder why that is. And it's like, yeah, it's a trip. It's almost like they're trying to paint the Mexicans a certain way, right? To make us look like we're bad people. Because you don't hear these, you know, these cases of these other, you know, ethnicities that make, you know, headlines, right? It's always a raza, right? Like what happened to the, you know, poor kid in Palmdale, right? And I was like, damn, that's a trip. Like I never even bothered to think about that because it's true, you know. But the news loves to paint the raza a certain way. I'm telling you, bro, we're always painted as these villains. People think that we're crazy, but like they are always trying to make us look like the bad guys. You know, when the percentage was, you know, small when it came to raza. And that's just a trip, you know. It was mind blowing just seeing the fucking numbers, right? You know, to think so many fucking children get abused out there, you know, by their parents on a day to day is fucking insane, bro. It's almost it's fucking this. I don't know. This there should be like a rule where, you know, you can't be a parent unless you go through some classes or some shit like that. Because by you treating these kids this way, right, and abusing them, bro, they're gonna grow up to be fucked up adults, bro. 9 times out of 10, right? There is some that, you know, end up, you know, steering better course, right? But like I've always said, not everybody's the same, right? And the percentage that they'll probably, you know, go down the wrong path is a lot higher, right? You know, because it's important being a parent, you know, it really is. It's like the most important thing you can be, right? Because how you treat a child is going to paint their whole entire life moving forward, right? And if you fucking, you know, treat a kid this way, right? If the people who are supposed to love you, right, and these are the ones that brought you into this world, right, and, you know, if they treat you like shit and do all this and this to you, then why should he actually trust the world now who's not related to him, who he doesn't even fucking know? then what's to believe him that these people care or that there's good people out there? When the ones who are supposed to, show all of this don't even give a fuck. So why would they think that the world gives a fuck? So since the world doesn't give a fuck, why should he give a fuck about what he does to them when they don't give a fuck about about him? And since his life has been like this his whole entire life, fucked up, and he having to go through this pain and everything on a day-to-day, that's unfair. So just now he commits, pain to others, and now they have to deal with it like he has to deal with it. And shut up and don't bitch about it, just like I have to live with it. So now you know how I feel on a day-to-day. Now we're even. Now he feels like it's actually fair. Even though you're like, damn, but that stupid way of thinking, I know this. But that's the mentality. You know what I'm saying? And you can see that behavior not even just with humans, but you can see it even if you do it with animals, right? Someone who's cruel to a dog and mistreats a dog, that dog becomes a very vicious dog, bro. And anytime he sees a human, he's gonna fucking bite them and attack them because he thinks that this, just like he's been abused by, his owners, whatever. He's gonna think that this person's gonna try to, beat him as well. So it's gonna take action, and attack. It becomes a vicious animal. You see it with other animals too, roosters and stuff like that, right? But you can breed and make troubled individuals, killers. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part about it. And a lot of people out there, it's crazy to think that they don't even give a fuck. You know what I mean? And won't even change. Even if people point out their mistreatment or their behaviors, they won't give a fuck. They'll be like, so? And the fact that they think like that is already mind-blowing in itself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.